Raho can punch out boxing. It's that time again. I'm joined by my colleague Devender Johal, and it's a historic fight week. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world for the first time right here in the UK. How are you, Dave? First of all, and you looking forward to this?
Going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, look, another with boxing. I mean, it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. Gone are the days where you'd have a fight of this magnitude over in America. Riyadh has really been putting in some work. We've got this fight on home soil, which is absolutely epic, and not just for boxing, but for world sport as well. This
Hmm.
is a massive event, absolutely huge. British soil, two heavyweights for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. It does not get any bigger than this. And in my opinion, the greatest prize in sports will be decided on Saturday night. That sounds really dramatic, Ra, but it's absolutely huge. We're not downplaying this. We're going to be there all week as well, covering, and also on fight night as well. So make sure you stay tuned. But what an event! I mean, you had the honor of speaking to John Charles, who was, let's just say, he was quite heated, called Alexander Usyk a con man. Is he a con man? Did he con him his way into victory?
No, I think Daniel Dubois' team, they've got to say what they need to give themselves that psychological boost. That's fine. It's part of the game. But did he con the referee? No, I think he took advantage of a situation, took advantage of the rules as they are on a technicality to do what many a great fighter's done, and that is buying himself some time. Aficionados will know that the great Angelo Dundee did the same right here when a certain young Cassius Clay got dropped, got up dazed, went back to his corner, and of course Dundee put his finger in the hole in the glove to tell the referee we need to change this glove to buy his fighter more time. Yeah, great fighters that they pull these stunts. No, he didn't con him anyone, but he took advantage of a situation. But yeah, of course, we Punch Out Boxing, we're going to be there. I'm going to be going to fight weeks. This time, I'm letting you go to fight night because, of course, several years ago, I seen this fight already over in Poland. So it's only fair I let you
You
go
did.
to some of the big fights. Um, but yeah, I mean the build up started. We've seen Alexander Usyk doing a pre-fight victory on an open top bus. We've never seen that before. I mean, our colleagues in the media saying that's like the ultimate sign of confidence, what an alpha he is. And of course, they had their first face off today. Daniel did a whole load of shouting. Usyk was his usual stoic, cold, focused self. Don't think we can consider any of those shenanigans to have any effect on the fight. Either way, is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it, I think unless Alexander Usyk is has got old overnight and he's really relying on the psychological advantage, then maybe this is a glimpse into his game plan, but it's not. These are just shenanigans. This is just selling the fight, getting the odd few tickets sold, the remaining tickets sold, getting the odd pay-per-views purchased. I think both both camps have got a great game plan. Um, it's going to be executed well on Saturday. But it depends on two things. When we go into fight analysis, it'll be good to get your thoughts as to how each man is going to win. But what makes this fight really interesting is they also say as well that sometimes a crowd can spur you on.
Hmm.
And last time the fight was over in Poland, which let's be honest, it's not Alexander Usyk's home country or hometown, but he had the home advantage, should we just say as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see if that will be similar on Daniel Dubois' side over in the UK. The UK fans, will they be behind him as much, and will that spur him on? I think that's probably going to play to some advantage. But a question to you though, Raj, do you see Alexander Usyk even being booed as he enters the room because he's transcended the sport, hasn't he? I think he's a worldwide ambassador of the sport, and everybody, let's be honest, loves him, don't they?
They do, but British fans are never averse to booing away opposition in any sport. We've seen with the football, even countries who are normally good friends with the UK, if their sports team comes here, the US, whatever, they'll get soundly booed. So I would not be surprised at all if Usyk gets booed. Just want to touch on something you said there about the psychological games. As you said, I think all the antics in the build up to, a fight week, I don't think it has that much effect on top level fighters. But one thing about Dubois is, I think psychologically he's very different to other fighters in that after his defeats, he he doesn't sort of dwell on them. They don't, his defeats don't seem to affect him in the same way Anthony Joshua probably most notoriously, his defeats clearly have a psychological effect on him and hinder his performances as such. The same could also be said to some extent with Fury. We've seen how he's responded to the two defeats he's had against Usyk. Almost denial and delusion, some would say. Um, but Dubai just sort of carries on as he was, and I think he genuinely doesn't get affected by anything. I mean, all the antics he's doing of late, I think that's at the behest of the promoters. I think he just follows instructions in that regard because we know he's not much of a talker naturally.
No,
I don't
no.
think he cares whether people are laughing at him or whether he comes across as awkward on camera or not. He just sees it as it's part of the job, and he'll do it as a tick box. I don't think he gives it any thought beyond that. Um, but he seems genuinely confident, whereas you can bet your life both AJ and Fury going into their rematches with Usyk would have been going in with almighty doubts. So I think that's a big difference in psychology between Dubois and them two. It's almost, I mean, this is without being insulting. It's almost as if he's too simple to concern himself with what all the noise around him, like what people are saying or not saying. Seems the only person who he cares about in terms of their opinion is probably the people closer to him, his dad, his coach, Frank Warren. If they're supporting him, I think he's happy.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, in my opinion as well, I think he's only you know, gotten better after his defeats. I mean, Joe Joyce, I was on record saying this as well when people were saying, look, why didn't he continue? How could he have continued? His eye was absolutely destroyed.
Hmm.
I mean, we've seen so many brave men in boxing who carried on and then lost their eyesight, went on to serious physical damage after that. And, so I think he was right to stop. He didn't quit. And I think he's only gotten stronger and better, hasn't he, Raw, in terms of his prowess and what he's done on the heavyweight scene. I mean, people wrote him off after the Joe Joyce defeat, but
Hmm.
he's come back and he's beaten some top contenders. Some
Yeah, I
top
mean,
contenders.
with
I
the
think he's only gotten
exception,
better.
yeah, with the exception of Parker
What
and
for you, Tim?
Cahill, he's probably got the best run of wins right now, hasn't he? Well, apart from Usyk as well, of course. But yeah, I mean, how do you see the fight? I mean, it seems like our colleagues' consensus, looking at the sort of social media sphere, is that it's going to be a repeat of the first fight. Um, I don't think so myself. I mean, what about yourself? How do you see the fight going, and what are what are going to be the important factors this time round?
So we'll touch upon what I want to happen first. So in terms of what would be great in a, for the boxing landscape, in my opinion, would be for Daniel Dubois to shake up the world, claim all the belts, and then that opens up the division again. Because in my opinion, Usyk has completed everything there is to do in boxing. And he's been Anthony Joshua twice,
Yeah.
Fury twice. He's beaten, okay, it was a very old Chisora, but Chisora's gone on to do some great things after that as well. So I I that's what I'd like to happen. I'd like Daniel Dubois to claim the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world purely because it opens up the door to so many other fights and other possibilities. How do I see it getting played out? I don't see it as a repeat, beat for beat, as like last time. I think Daniel Dubois will go the distance. I think it'll be a much closer fight. I think Daniel Dubois will really try and frustrate Usyk by landing to the body a lot more as well. The midsection. I don't think he'll knock him down, but I think it'll be a similar fight to how AJ lost to Usyk the second time round. But he'll
Well,
go the distance. I see it being played out. However, when I spoke to Spencer Fearon a few weeks ago, Spencer said he wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Dubois stops Alexander Usyk in 6 rounds.
mhm.
Is he capable of doing that? Yes, absolutely, because he's an absolute powerhouse. Can he stick to a game plan? Yes, but it's who executes that game plan the best, and it also depends on can Alexander Usyk grow old overnight after beating Joshua twice, Fury twice, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
That's what about
it's
yourself?
interesting. I actually agree with you a lot in that sense. I don't see it being, as people are saying that he's going to get dominated round after round and then quit again or get stopped again. I don't see it as that. You mentioned there that Usyk might have to turn old overnight. Well, I don't think he is getting old overnight. He's getting old, and by his own admission, fighting against heavyweights, it is taking a toll on his body. I think that's why he himself has said he's really only this is his last year in the sport, and that can only be because he is feeling his age. Meanwhile, Daniel Dubois at 27 is coming into the prime of his life as an athlete. Um, so I definitely I mean, and we've seen this in his recent fights against Miller and against Hergovich, especially when he's got his dad in the corner barking orders, that he will keep coming and coming this time. Um, and I think he is going to make Usyk really feel his age. I think they'll tell him, don't worry too much about, being accurate with your punches and just hit him anywhere. If you've got to hit his arms and shoulders, remember he's an older man, near enough middle-aged. Those joints are going to be hurting. Hit him anywhere and hit him constantly. We've seen against both Hergovich and AJ, he can take a good shot. And let's be honest,
Can. Yeah.
Usyk doesn't have that sort of power at heavyweight. So with Don Charles and his dad barking the orders, like I said, I do see him actually making this the hardest fight of Usyk's career. Yes, he could knock him out early if he catches him. Similarly, though, I don't actually think it's unlike. I don't think it's unlikely that he wins on points. A lot of people seem to think, well, Dubois can't win on points because he can't outbox him. Well, you don't have to outbox someone to win on points. If, as you said, Usyk finally feels his age, um, for the first time, he might find against, like we said, a man in the prime of youth, he can't maintain that pace, and he might actually find the younger man is landing the more effective punches in more of the rounds. So yeah, I certainly don't think it'd be a shock at all for me anyway, if Dubois won, whether by stoppage or on points. Um, but as you said, a lot will depend. How much is Usyk feeling his age, and how much will he feel his age come Saturday night?
No, I think I agree with you there. One of the a good blueprint to beat Usyk, what many people say is Chisora's fight with Usyk, which is forget where I'm landing. I'm just gonna hit the arms, hit the body, just
Hmm.
go hell for leather. And maybe that's what Daniel's Dubois will try and do this time,
Hmm.
because his neck, they're like shock absorbers. He can take a shot. He can take a massive shot. So he's had, Anthony Joshua land full force on him as well. And he took that really well. And let's be honest, Anthony Joshua is probably a harder puncher than Alexander Usyk. He's a natural heavyweight, isn't he? So
Absolutely.
it'll be a closer fight. But as Spencer Fearon said as well a few weeks ago, he wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Dubois beat Usyk via stoppage or knockout. He wouldn't be surprised. But I still favour Usyk in this fight. I
Hmm.
still think he'd win on points in terms of just the smarter boxing. I think the gas tank as well. We've seen as the rounds go on, Daniel Dubois, the engine does start to deteriorate in terms of the speed, the stamina, because
Hmm.
he is carrying a lot of weight as well, upper body strength. That all plays into factor. Um, it's going to be Usyk via points,
Hmm.
um, or in my opinion, Daniel Dubois via stoppage within 7. But it all depends on those factors. How old is Usyk going to be when he comes in terms of is he going to feel it more? Is Daniel going to execute a game plan which is just go hell for leather and just land at will? Anything could change, but I'm going to make a final prediction as we normally do, don't we, on Saturdays?
Hmm.
Yeah, night and fight morning of the fight. After we've seen the weigh-in, seen the press conference, which you're attending as well. So make sure you stay tuned on Thursday for clips and interviews from the press conference. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've got opinions on this fight as well, make sure you drop them down in the comments and our pages. It'd be interesting to see how you see it playing out as well. But it's going to be one hell of a night. One hell of a night, bro.
Absolutely, another packed out Wembley and a historic event. Privileged to have it in our lifetime as boxing fans. As you said at the beginning of the show, there was a time undisputed heavyweight title fights only happened in America. So a great occasion to look forward to. And as you said, look out for all the content that we're bringing you from Fight Week and, of course, Fight Night. Just want to touch on the undercard. A lot of fans are saying they're a bit disappointed. I think that's just because we've been spoilt rotten in the past couple of years with Riyadh season putting on these super cards. Um, Looks like there's obviously several Ukrainian fighters, so I'm guessing to get the fight over the line, they had to give some of Usyk's stablemates big opportunities as well, and nothing wrong with that. It's common enough practice. So just want to talk briefly about some of them fights. Adam Hamid, we got him on the other undercard. His development continues. Yeah, it's another 4 rounder. He's privileged, like Campbell Hatton, who's announced his retirement now. He's he's going to
Yeah,
find
at the age of
that.
24.
Yeah, that name Hamid, it will weigh heavily if he's not moved carefully. But Uncle Frank knows how to do that, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they're going to put him in with, a tough, hard-hitting opponent straight away, are they? I mean, he needs to build the just build on and not just rely on his net. I think they know that as well, to be
Mhm.
fair. No one likes a gimmick. And I think possibly with Campbell Hatton, unfortunately as well, it all came too soon, didn't it? Tim Tszyu was slightly different. If we look at, named fighters, fathers, and so on and so forth, Tim Tszyu was slightly different because he stayed away from the scenes and then he was building.
Yeah.
Conor Benn from day one. he wasn't getting away from that. Neither was Chris Eubank Jr. They were never going to get away from that. You know, the name is the name, and they continue to have successful careers. With Adam Hamid, I think, it's just a case of I'm expecting another win, Raw,
Yeah,
and we move on. Because there was talks at one point that he was going to go into Misfits or something, wasn't it? Or
yeah. I think the other brother, I forget his name. He is in Misfits. So,
right,
um, yeah. Well, Adam, let's see how he gets on. Interesting little heavyweight fight. Surenko against Dakers. Dakers, of course,
yeah,
has flattered to deceive in his pro career after a great amateur career. That getting blitzed by Adelaide set his reputation back. It's a must win for him, isn't it? I mean, in the harsh environment of the current heavyweight scene, another loss, it'll be a question of, well, where do you go from here?
yeah. I think sometimes as well, especially with heavyweights, people are interested in a jaded fighter and what they can produce. Never be astonished or shocked if someone with a few losses on their record just pulls one out the bag
Hmm.
and decides to turn it on. I mean, this might be the making of him. I mean, gone are the days now. It sounds like a million miles away, but is he in a worse off position than Johnny Fisher?
Well, this will tell us a lot because
So
Surenko, he's 19 KOs in 22 fights.
a tough
So
test.
Uncle Frank's probably read him the riot act that yeah, we want to get straight back in there and no soft touches. Again, he's one of these guys that stayed in the amateurs quite late, so there's no gradual rebuilding at 30 or 31, whatever he is. So good luck to
Unfortunately, not now.
Solomon. Hope he can get a result. The light heavyweight fight, Lewis Edmondson against Daniel Lapin. Somewhat disappointing we're not getting Edmondson against Ezra Taylor.
Not
That was
yet.
gearing
Not
up.
not Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we will get that,
Hmm.
but they'll let it bubble up. They'll let that bubble up a bit more. Let Ezra get a few more wins, Edmondson get a few more wins, and then they'll make that happen. I think that's inevitable. It's just a case of when. It's
Yeah.
probably a case of where as well. Do we go for Nottingham, where
Hmm.
you've got a massive fan base for Ezra? I mean, everybody, I was speaking to a few guys on Sunday as well, who were mentioning Ezra and Ezra, and it's got a fantastic fan, as is Edmondson as well.
Yeah.
Where would they stage that? I think that will happen inevitably. I would have liked to see it so early on. At Wembley, I would have loved to see that, but I think we just yeah, it's still a must win for Edmonton because the Ezra fight is finished. Let's be honest, no one wants to see that, then do they?
Yeah, exactly. Hard fight though. Daniel Lapin, he's from that Ukrainian background. He's in the world rankings, which is, I'm guessing, why Lewis has taken this. He wants to gate crash those world rankings. So again, good luck to him. The chief support, people are already deriding it because it's Lawrence Okoli against Lorena. I think it's unfair since Okoli's moved up
Good
the
fight. I don't
heavyweight.
think it's that bad.
Okoli at heavyweight,
Yeah, I
he's
don't think
producing
it's
the
a bad
goods.
fight.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I agree with you. I think with Okoli, it's a case of which Okoli are we going to get? Are we going to get a substandard, boring performance? Similar, and to be fair as well, this is the same criticism that Ragundo used to get at lower weight,
Hmm.
which is either he'll turn it on or he'll make it into a completely, a snooze fest for the fans. So, so it is sometimes frustrating to watch Okoli, but I think this is a good fight. You spoke to Lorena a few times. I spoke to Okoli a few times. We've interviewed them both.
Hmm.
I think Okoli really wants to give it, a good shot.
Yeah,
New promoter. Second fight under Frank Warren.
exactly. And again, I'm sure Uncle Frank has told all of his very long roster of heavyweights that, the competition is fierce. You want to get up the higher up the front of the queue, then you got to produce the goods. So I don't think we'll see the old a Coley at cruiserweight. I think he's going to be looking to land his big bombs, and Kevin Lorena we know always comes and brings a fight. So yeah, I think we can enjoy the build up to that. Obviously, that epic main event.
Yeah, gone are the days where you had Coley versus Isaac Chamberlain, those sort of performances, which were really, massively built up, and then the fight under delivered. I think we're going to get a good performance from a Coley. I think he'll win by KO, if I'm being honest. I think it'll be a knockout performance. What do you think?
I'm leaning towards Lawrence Okoli. Yeah, yeah, he's hitting really hard at heavyweight, and that could set him up for some big fights against the likes of Caballel and Wardley. That sort of crop of top heavyweights waiting for their chance. So yeah, watch his space.
Three-weight world champion as well, Ra. Just imagine that. A three-weight world champion in the later weight.
Yeah,
Because of course, he was the Bridgerweight WBC champion of the world, wasn't he? So
very,
that'll
very.
be interesting. I'd like to see, him versus Dubois. I mean, that could happen if he wins. If even if Dubois loses, that could happen.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a possibility.
absolutely. It's a great roster of fights that Uncle Frank can give us. All right, well, Dave, always a pleasure. God, you've got me all excited now for the next few days. Fight week building up. You are going to be buzzing come Saturday in the quadrant of Wembley Stadium. Yeah. So again, viewers, like, comment, subscribe. Give us your views, how you think this is going, and of course, look out for all the content coming your way here on Punch Out Boxing. Dave, thanks for your time, and we will talk to you soon.